Now, forecast first on Color 10 News, Ozarks First.
Beautiful, beautiful weather out there. Right now we're looking at sunny skies with a little high cloudiness starting to creep in from the northwest. Still holding on to temperatures close to 80 in Springfield. We hit 81 this afternoon. And here's a peek at that evening forecast. Another nice evening to open up those windows, let some fresh air in. Temperatures will slowly drop to the 70s and into the 60s, with morning lows tomorrow only in the upper 50s. And yes, another very warm afternoon with highs in the 80s across all of the Ozarks. Then it starts to trend colder. I'll have more on that coming up. Color 10 News at 6 starts now.
And now from Color 10, breaking news.
We have multiple stories breaking tonight at 6. We now know MSU Lady Bears coach Kelly Harper will leave Springfield for Tennessee. More information on that in just a moment.
But first, we want to get you information about this scene right here at the Dollar General. It's on West Division in between Kansas Expressway and the West Bypass. It's a live look, and it's happening right now as Springfield police investigate an incident there involving an officer being dragged from a car. Police say the incident started there. A female officer approached a male suspect in a Dodge Caravan, but was dragged a short distance when he tried to drive away. An officer fired some shots at that vehicle, but the suspect fled the scene. The female officer was not injured after being dragged.
The driver then stopped here at Jefferson and Calhoun. That's a few blocks west of the Drury campus. The man left his car and ran away. After a short chase from other officers, the driver was taken into custody near Cox North. He was put into an ambulance and transported to Cox South. No word on his injuries.
And we're still trying to get more details on exactly what happened in these scenes. We will have more information as we get it here on Color 10 News.
And we have new information on MSU basketball. The Missouri State Lady Bears are looking for a new head basketball coach tonight.
That's right. It's not the news the Lady Bear fans wanted to hear, anybody for that matter, in town. Kelly Harper is in fact going to go home to Tennessee. Color 10's Dan Lucy joins us live from the University Plaza tonight with more on this developing story. Dan?
That's right, David and Heather. Almost 24 hours of anxious waiting. And the Lady Bear fans finally heard the news that they were hoping they would not hear tonight, and that is Kelly Harper is leaving Missouri State. Tennessee announcing late this afternoon that it was hiring Kelly Harper to be the new Tennessee women's basketball coach. It brings Kelly Harper home. Back in the late 90s, Kelly Jolly was a point guard for 3 consecutive national championship teams under Pat Summitt. Harper moved into coaching and after 15 years returns to lead Tennessee back to national prominence. In 6 years at Missouri State, Harper won 118 games and got the Lady Bears back into the NCAA tournament. Last year's team advanced to the Sweet 16. Harper gets a 5-year contract worth $750,000 a year in Knoxville. Missouri State Athletics Director Kyle Motes has formed a 5-person advisory committee, and he is already looking for a new coach for the Lady Bears. So finally, that's the situation. We're out here at the University Plaza, Heather and David, because Patrick Mahomes is here for the annual Steak and Steak dinner that helps raise funds for the Boys and Girls Club of Springfield. We'll talk with him and talk more about Kelly Harper later in sports. Back to you guys.
All right, Dan, thanks. Well, a question is being raised in tonight's Your Right to Know file. Will convicted killer Craig Wood get his death sentence reduced to life in prison?
That question is now before the Missouri Supreme Court.
You'll recall 10-year-old Haley Owens of Springfield was kidnapped and raped and murdered back in 2014. A
jury found Craig Wood guilty of the crimes, but it could not agree on the punishment. Judge Thomas Mountjoy ordered Wood to die for his crimes.
Today, Color 10 News was there in Jefferson City, where Wood's public defender argued for a life sentence without parole before the Missouri Supreme Court.
Woods' attorney cited several issues to question the sentencing in a 136-page brief submitted to the court.
Yeah, the state and Wood's attorney argued over crime scene photos, a statement by Haley Owens' family that they did not want the death penalty for Wood, and whether the judge could statutorily impose a death sentence after the jury deadlocked trying to decide the punishment.
And the evidence of deliberation was so overwhelming in this case, there is no chance that any of this evidence created a guilty verdict where it otherwise would have been something different.
If you were to go out on the street and talk to normal Missouri citizens, this deadlock provision is not what they would anticipate as encompassing the jury trial right. It certainly is not what the founding fathers had anticipated. And so I ask the court to strike this deadlock provision and order that Mr. Wood receive a sentence of life without parole.
The case was prosecuted originally in Greene County, but heard by a judge from Platte County.
We can tell you that Greene County Prosecutor Dan Patterson was not there in the Supreme Court hearing today because the Attorney General's office, in fact, is the agency that handles felony death sentence appeals.
And the High Court will now consider opinions of both sides and issue a ruling in the coming weeks.
Now to medical coverage this evening at 6. Lawmakers are making a push tonight for trampoline park regulations as the number of ER visits due to trampoline park-related injuries continues to spike.
Color 10's Nigel McDonald met with a local pediatric orthopedic surgeon. He says he's seen patients weekly with injuries suffered while using a trampoline.
Trampoline parks have grown in popularity. However, a recent report conducted by the Consumer Product Safety Commission reveals so have the number of injuries. Pediatric orthopedic surgeon Jeremy Onen says injuries can range from a sprain to breaking one or more bones.
The problem with injuries from trampoline parks is you can get it all over the place. It depends on how you're jumping and what you hit.
Onen says he tells his patients that there are inherent risks associated with anything you do that's fun.
Weighing those risks about with the fun that you're going to have is the important part.
Lawmakers are making a push to regulate trampoline parks. If approved, businesses would be held accountable for injuries suffered within the trampoline park. Currently, patrons sign a waiver removing any liability from the business. We did reach out to our local Sky Zone team, who says in part, at Sky Zone, the safety of our guests is our top priority. When there is an injury, all incidents are analyzed internally and we consult with third-party consultants. Nigel McDonald, Ozarks First.
And the doctor also added the importance of following all trampoline park safety rules to help minimize any injuries.
In a developing story tonight, a Missouri state representative has sponsored legislation to help notify people who live near hazardous waste sites. The sponsor of the bill was Representative Sonia Anderson, who says this bill was prompted by the TCE contamination at Fantastic Caverns. House Bill 914 would ensure people are notified about the existence of the sites and keep people updated about any developments. The Department of Natural Resources currently maintains an interactive site listing hazardous waste areas. That site allows people to sign up for updates, and this bill would make these practices become law.
Another beautiful day across the Ozarks. Hope you got outside and got to enjoy some of these temperatures, but cooler weather and some storm clouds could be on the horizon. Jamie has the details on when next.
And now, weather with Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
Beautiful from start to finish, and we're not just talking about sky conditions. We're talking about things greening up, all the flowers blooming, the trees are also blooming and starting to leaf out. And you know the best part, temperatures. That's beautiful too. 79 degrees right now. Winds have been light throughout this warm stretch for the most part. That's about to change tomorrow. We've got a storm which is now beginning to take shape here across parts of Wyoming and Nebraska. And as this storm winds up and drops southeast into north central areas of Kansas by tomorrow evening, that area of low pressure is going to rapidly deepen, and that's going to lead to some very strong winds coupled with snowflakes that'll be flying across parts of the upper Midwest. And this is a blizzard warning that we've got in effect for northeast Colorado through parts of Nebraska into South Dakota and southwest Minnesota. For us locally, we're going to be on the warm side of the storm, and as I've said all week long, thankfully this is not a storm that's going to produce thunderstorms, and it's not going to be a storm that produces severe weather, at least locally here in the Ozarks. It's going to move through our area relatively quietly, but we will find a lot of wind with this storm as it moves through. Right now, we're finding sunshine and light winds. High clouding is starting to sneak in out of the northwest. Those high clouds will continue to spill across our skies overnight tonight. Tonight looks to be a mild and breezy night as winds increase out of the southeast. That's going to keep the air stirred up, so don't look for temperatures to be as cool as they've been the last couple of nights. Comfortably cool tomorrow morning with lows in the upper 50s to low 60s. And then tomorrow those winds are going to continue to ratchet up with winds out of the south on the order of about 15 to 25 miles per hour. But we're likely going to have wind gusts of 30 to 40 miles per hour, at least in parts of the Ozarks, as this storm continues to deepen. Otherwise, looking at a sunny and very warm day tomorrow with highs in the low to mid 80s. With the gusty winds, though, and the relatively dry air that we have in place, plus the relatively dry ground conditions, because we haven't seen a lot of rain here lately, we are looking at an increased fire danger. So any thoughts of doing any yard waste burning? Let's hold off on that until maybe the end of the week, once those winds will die down by that point. Overnight tonight, mostly clear skies. Temperatures dropping into the 50s in most areas, but maybe only into the low 60s back toward I-49. Looks like about 58 here in Springfield. Highs tomorrow ranging from the low 80s east to middle 80s west. And it looks like here in Springfield about 83 degrees. Now, colder weather will follow this storm, but it doesn't look like it's going to be quite as cold an air mass as it did maybe the last few days. That's good news. Still chilly air, though, working into the area as we close out this week and head through this upcoming weekend. Here's what I'm expecting out of the storm system. No thunderstorms, no severe weather. We will find cool and windy conditions, though, developing on Thursday. Gusts over 40 miles per hour possible on Thursday. And look for chilly temperatures, especially in the morning hours, Friday through the weekend with lows in the 30s. That'll come with highs in the 50s. And we'll find more rain moving in, I think, Saturday afternoon. Showers continuing through Saturday night into Sunday morning. And the clouds may be slow to clear on Sunday. That'll keep things chilly. But warm weather returns quickly early next week.
Okay, and what is our Viewers Club number tonight?
That Viewers Club number for tonight, 141-638, the jackpot $700.
All right, Jamie, thanks.
This is Charmaine. She is a Mustang, and she was wilded once. And there are lots of horses just like her that need a home. I'll tell you about them.
When we come back, our Crystal Blair will share more about these wild horses and how you can give one a home.
And around the Ozarks now at 6 tonight, overpopulation is leaving thousands of wild horses in need of a home, and a new government incentive may be able to help.
Our Crystal Blair visited a ranch in Harrison and talked with a man who works closely with wild horses. She joins us live from our Branson Bureau with details. Crystal.
I think that's...
Well, Heather and David, the man that I spoke with, he works closely with horses, and he's very concerned and involved with their welfare. And he tells me the problem is he has tens of thousands of horses roaming a certain area of the United States. However, the rangeland can't handle them all.
Not only is there 90,000 running on the range, there's another 55,000 are in some kind of long-term or short-term holding.
90,000 horses roaming wild in the western part of the United States. However, the range can only handle 27,000 of those horses. This is why the government has stepped in to try and get some of these animals a permanent home. Right now, they're offering $1,000 to anyone who adopts a wild horse. Fred Wool is chair of the National Wild Horse and Burro Advisory Board. He explained how this adoption incentive works.
Now you get $500 within 60 days, and at the end of the year, see, these horses' title don't transfer for a year. So if you get one of these horses, it's not yours for a year. One of the big things people say is, well, the cattle ranchers, get the cattle ranchers off of it. The cattle aren't out there that long. They're out there at the most not 90 days in a year. These horses are out there 24/7, 365 days a year.
And Wool says the cost for this, $1,000 per year per head to have these horses running wild. But he says they do have auctions, or they try to, at least twice a year per state. And he says be careful before you purchase, though, because there are a lot of scammers out there. Now, I will put information at our website, ozarksfirst.com. Reporting live in Branson, Crystal Blair, Ozarks First.
All right, Crystal, our thanks to you. Coming up in sports.
The latest on the way on Kelly Harper and her new job at Tennessee.
And we're going to look for it. If we don't have it, so Jazz, you're holding. Yeah. Hold.
Dan Lucy is also live with the Chiefs' Patrick Mahomes. You don't want to miss that. It's next.
Now Sports with Dan Lucy.
Well, sports on location here at the University Plaza, where it's the 23rd annual Boys and Girls Club Steak and Steak Dinner. And look who came by to visit, Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback, the guest speaker. And it's been quite a weekend for you up in Minneapolis with Texas Tech. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, the weekend was awesome. I mean, you could tell my voice is gone. It was an exciting weekend. I wish Texas Tech would have got it, but I was very proud of those guys for getting there and getting to that championship game and battling until the end.
You got to be proud about your alma mater there. A breakout season for you with the Kansas City Chiefs last year, set all kinds of records, 50 touchdowns in a season. Just talk a little bit about, have you had an opportunity to just enjoy it, kind of look back at it and relish some of that?
Yeah, I mean, you do a little bit, but we still didn't get to our ultimate goal. I mean, we wanted to be in the Super Bowl, and we didn't get there, and so you enjoy the success you had, but you build on to the next season, and we got OTA starting next week, so I'm excited for that.
I was going to say, I've already seen some of your Twitter activity. You're looking forward to the OTAs and just kind of building on the foundation you guys have created last year.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have a lot of young talent, a lot of the guys that were really hungry this last year, and we fell short, and it gave us extra motivation to come back this next year and go out there and
you get that close, you just got to take that next step, right?
Exactly. I mean, the Super Bowl is the only goal we have. It's about going out there and getting it, and so I'm excited to go to the Super Bowl, hopefully, and try to win it.
You met with the boys and girls from the Boys and Girls Club. What's your message to them tonight, and what did you talk to them about this afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, the message to them was that you can do anything your mind's set to. I mean, you can really go out there and fulfill your dreams if you put in the hard work and the dedication to it, and that was the biggest thing I wanted to get across, is that everyone's dream is attainable as long as you put in the work to get there.
Patrick, I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All righty, Patrick Mahomes, Boys and Girls Club. Now, the other big story tonight in Springfield concerns the Missouri State Lady Bears. Tennessee officially naming Kelly Harper as the Lady Vols' new coach, leaving the Bears looking for a new coach. Kelly Harper, for her, it is a return home. Harper returns now to help resurrect the program and bring it back to national prominence. She is a Tennessee native who won 3 consecutive national championships as a player under Pat Summitt. Now, Tennessee will give Harper a 5-year contract worth $750,000 a year. Vols AD Philip Fulmer called Harper a winner at every stop in her career. Harper's been a head coach for 15 seasons, the last 6 at Missouri State. She won 118 games, took the Lady Bears to 2 NCAA tournaments. This season, they advanced to the Sweet 16. Now, Missouri State Athletics Director Kyle Motes thanked Harper and says he's extremely happy for their entire family. He's already started the search to replace Kelly Harper, forming a 5-person advisory committee. He says Missouri State is a coveted job. And finally tonight in our professional bull riding update, 19-year-old rookie Mason Taylor won the 4-day marathon in Sioux Falls, South Dakota over the weekend. The Texas native 4-for-4 rode MAGA for 89.25 points in the championship. Taylor pocketed nearly $38,000 for the win. Don't forget, the PBR boys will be in Springfield September 13th through the 15th for the PFIWestern.com Invitational. Heather and David, that's the story out here from a crazy University Plaza. Patrick Mahomes in town for the Boys and Girls Club. Back to you guys.
We were just remarking, Dan, at all the people behind you guys there taking pictures of him, and of course, they're snapping pictures of you too, right, Dan? Mm-hmm. He can't hear me, I'm sure. Well, it's a good time.
That event did sell out days after they announced
me and Patrick Mahomes. You know how that goes.
You guys are tight. You're gonna break bread together tonight. All right, Dan. We'll have a good time out there.
We'll be right back.
So you mentioned opening up the windows again tonight, huh?
Yeah, I mean, a great evening to do that, or maybe go for a nice long walk. Temperatures are going to be comfortable all night long. Warm tomorrow afternoon, but that's without humidity. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Chillier weather returning late in the week, and that will come with some wet weather Saturday and Sunday. Right now, it looks like temperatures will probably stay a little above the freezing mark at night, and that's good news.
It is good news. Jamie, thanks.
And thank you for joining us here at 6. We will meet you back here again tonight at 10.
Good night for now.